Welcome to the eBSI Export Academy's International Trade Specialist Program. 42 video courses designed to boost your global trade skills. In this course, Introduction to International Trade, you'll discover the fundamentals of cross-border commerce, key trade terms and processes every exporter should know, and how trade agreements may impact your opportunities. Ready to go global? Let's begin.
In recent years, the world economy has undergone profound changes. Domestic trade has become global trade, where the entire world is a global market. In this unit, you will learn about the nature and background of international trade. This will be achieved by learning about liberalization and the origins of the WTO, learning about globalization and the positive and negative effects of globalization, exploring the various world economic agreements and their relevance to the different regions throughout the world, reviewing the various world organizations and their influence on international trade, and finally, exploring the history of international trade. In the last few years, the world economy has gone through some major changes, the result of which has been the creation of a world market. Since the establishment of the World Trade Organization, almost all economies of the world have tended to establish more and more interdependent relationships with each other. In the 1980s, the world economy was characterized by trade between large economic blocs. In the mid-90s, international trade tended to develop towards globalization, to a stage where it is feasible to conceive trade without frontiers in the not-too-distant future. In the 21st century, we will witness the emergence of a new economy, the world as a global market. Liberalization. Many developing countries worry about excess dependence on a single trading partner because they are then vulnerable to political and economic occurrences in the trading partner country. They therefore strive to diversify their trading relationships and develop an interdependent relationship with many countries. In order to encourage trading relationships between countries, the World Trade Organization came into existence on the 1st of January 1995. It is the successor to the GATT General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. The current tendency in international trade focuses on developing a world economy where all countries will be able to trade freely without custom or tax barriers, which are today an instrument of protectionist policies for domestic markets. Thus, the world economy has been steadily globalizing for many years now. The removal of customs barriers would be a great advantage for exporters, as there will be no more fiscal impediments to the free trade of their goods. Take a look at the video giving a better understanding of global trade flows.
Screens that include interactive elements that cannot be accessed in this video format and are only available in the full interactive version of the course. You can upgrade to the video version through the link in the description.
Introduction to GATT. GATT was introduced in 1947 on the initiative of 23 countries with the aim of clearing the multitude of bilateral agreements which were established in the period between the two world wars, and to encourage trade between different countries of the world. GATT is a multilateral treaty intended to help reduce trade barriers between signatory countries and to promote trade through tariff concessions. The final objective of GATT was even more ambitious: achieve the full utilization of world resources and promote the production and trade of goods in order to improve living standards. The GATT consisted of the Assembly, which gathered twice a year, the Council, which gathered 4 times a year, and conferences. These were regular gatherings 3 to 4 times a year where guidelines for common policies were established. Later, the conferences began to be referred to as rounds. The last round took place in Uruguay and led to the establishment of the World Trade Organization. The World Trade Organization, or WTO, which began operations on 1 January 1995, is the central body of the multilateral trading system. Based in Geneva, the WTO was established as a result of the Uruguay round of multilateral trade negotiations from 1986 to 1994. replacing the Secretariat of the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, or GATT. One of the purposes of the WTO is to oversee the administration and functioning of the multilateral trade agreements, including the dispute settlement system. The organization also serves as a forum for future trade negotiations and rulemaking. The final objective of the WTO is to achieve the complete liberalization of international trade. Today, however, the situation in the world is far from that. Countries tend to establish agreements which make the trading environment between the signatory countries more favorable, as cultural and economic similarities make the possibility of a successful conclusion to these negotiations more real. Positive and negative effects of globalization. The global market offers certain advantages, such as integration agreements, new technologies, transport developments, and higher quality, and so forth, which encourages international trade, as well as disadvantages, such as domestic controls, management short-sightedness, or a lack of export experience, which impedes international trade. Click on the links to both positive effects and negative effects to read more.
Screens that include interactive elements that cannot be accessed in this video format and are only available in the full interactive version of the course. You can upgrade to the video version through the link in the description.
International trade theories. Foreign trade, importing and exporting activities, is one means by which countries are linked economically. Two general types of trade theories pertain to international business. Descriptive theories deal with the natural order of trade. They examine and explain patterns of trade under laissez-faire conditions. Prescriptive theories deal with the question of whether governments should seek to alter the amount, composition, and/or direction of trade. On this page we will take a brief look at the basic tenets of each theory. In the further reading section you will find more in-depth coverage of the topic.
Screens that include interactive elements that cannot be accessed in this video format and are only available in the full interactive version of the course. You can upgrade to the video version through the link in the description.
Counter-trade. Counter-trade involves a reciprocal flow of goods and services. It provides a means to complete a transaction when a firm or government does not have sufficient convertible currency to pay for imports, or it simply does not have sufficient funds. Counter-trade transactions can be divided into two basic types. 1. Barter, based on clearing arrangements used to avoid money-based exchange. And 2. Buybacks, offsets, and counter-purchase, all of which are used to impose reciprocal commitments. Click through to barter and offset trade to learn more.
Screens that include interactive elements that cannot be accessed in this video format and are only available in the full interactive version of the course. You can upgrade to the video version through the link in the description.
Hi there. I really hope you're enjoying the course content. We worked hard to create a video version of our interactive course that's available on our online campus. If you're finding it of benefit, please like and subscribe. It'll help us spread the word to others who may be interested. We really appreciate your spending your time with us here. Thanks.
World Economic Agreements. When an exporter starts planning his export activity, he should familiarize himself with trade agreements established by different countries. In general, bilateral agreements complicate the entry of third countries into markets. Before analyzing these agreements, let us look at some of the ways through which economic cooperation between countries can take place. First of all, review the diagram and then click through to the various links to learn more about the different corporations available.
Screens that include interactive elements that cannot be accessed in this video format and are only available in the full interactive version of the course. You can upgrade to the video version through the link in the description.
Regional trade agreements. Regional trading groups are an important influence on the strategies of multinational enterprises because economic blocks define the size of regional markets and the rules under which firms must operate. While WTO members are required to grant the same favorable trade conditions to all other WTO members, the organization allows a departure from the principle in the case of regional trade agreements.
Screens that include interactive elements that cannot be accessed in this video format and are only available in the full interactive version of the course. You can upgrade to the video version through the link in the description.
Europe. Here you will find an overview of some of the most notable economic and political pacts that have been or are still in force in Europe.
Screens that include interactive elements that cannot be accessed in this video format and are only available in the full interactive version of the course.
Trade agreements in the Americas. Here you will find an overview of some of the most notable economic and political pacts that have been or are still in force in the Americas.
Screens that include interactive elements that cannot be accessed in this video format.
Trade agreements in Africa. Here you will find an overview of some of the most notable economic and political pacts which have been or are still in force in Africa.
You can upgrade to the video version through the link in the description.
Trade agreements in Asia. Here you will find an overview of some of the most notable economic and political pacts that have been or are still in force in Asia.
Okay, we're close to the end of the lesson. If we haven't done so already, please like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to add them in the comments section below.
World Trade Organizations. In this section, we will review some of the key players in the international trade arena. Let's start with the World Trade Organization. For more information, please visit the website of the WTO at www.wto.org. You can also read through the WTO GATT timeline to learn more about its development over time. Another important organization is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD. For more information, please visit the OECD website at www.oecd.org. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development is one of the major trade development organizations, especially in the area of trade facilitation. For more information, please visit the EBRD website at www.ebrd.org. The Inter-American Development Bank has its main focus on the Americas. For more information, please visit the IADB website at www.iadb.org. The Asian Development Bank, with its focus on Asia, can be visited at their website www.adb.org. An important player in trade facilitation in Africa is the African Development Bank. For more information, please visit the AFDB website at www.afdb.org. Next, we have the International Monetary Fund. For more information, please visit the IMF website at www.imf.org. The World Intellectual Property Organization. For more information, please visit the WIPO website at www.wipo.int. The WIPO is the global forum for intellectual property services, policy, information, and cooperation. The United Nations, now more than 70 years old, can be found at www.un.org. Last but not least, UNCTAD, the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. For more information, please visit the UNCTAD website at www.unctad.org.
Given the importance of this subject, we have compiled a series of in-depth resources for your further reference. 1. A paper on the theory of international trade. 2. Introduction to globalization and international trade. 3. Introduction to comparative advantage. 4. Advantages and disadvantages of countertrade. 5. Liberalization of international trade and economic growth. Implications for both developed and developing countries. This course includes a number of additional resources, including the examples above. You will be able to access them if you sign up for the full course at the link below. You can find this link also in our description and pinned to the comments below. Discuss this unit. When you sign up for the full certificate course, you will be able to discuss this unit on the forums to clarify any queries or comments you may have.
In this unit, you learned about the liberalization and the formation and functions of GATT and the WTO. You examined the positive and negative effects of globalization. You analysed the World Economic Agreements and their relevance to the different world regions. You learned about the various world organisations and their effects on international trade.
Thanks for participating in this online video course. The paid version of this program includes more interactive content, supplementary materials for download, forums, an online test, and certificate award. If you would like to achieve this course certificate, then follow the link in the description below or in the pinned comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you would like to binge all 42 course units, here's a link to do so. You'll find it also in the link below.